Yes, you could be sitting in the Hall of Fame and the world will know your name. Good evening and welcome to Personality Profile here on Joy 99.7 FM. I'm Lexis Bill and it's another Thursday evening where we get to sit with amazing people who are serving the motherland and doing great things, and we get to know about their story. And this evening I have one such amazing guest for you. From now till 8 o'clock, you might want to settle down at home, or probably if you're driving, turn up the volume a little bit as you get to listen to the story of a man who has served Ghana. Yeah, he's a servant, and literally too. Yeah, before I tell you about him, we're live on Facebook. You can go check out the video and share the video in your WhatsApp groups, on your social media platforms, and invite your friends and family to tune in and watch us live. Or if you're listening on radio, this is 99.7 FM. Yeah, tonight I spent time with a very honorable son of the land who is serving Ghana in a very strategic role. Yeah, he leads the administrative and bureaucratic machinery of the state, mandated to assist the government in policy formulation and implementation. His career as a civil service staff spans over 33 years. As a management analyst back in 1988 thereabouts at the Management Services Department, he actually actively led the process of restructuring ministries, departments and agencies and districts as well, and the establishment of the local government service. He's a member of the Ghana Association of Consultants, vice president of the Organizational Development Practitioners Association of Ghana. He's a fellow of the Chartered Institute of Administrators and Management Consultants and Institute of Directors, as well the Honorable Order of Kentucky Colonels of the USA. Yeah, Nana Kwasi Agyekum-Dwamena, head of the Civil Service of Ghana, is my guest on Personality Profile. Nana, you're welcome.
Thank you. Good evening. Good to see you.
Good to see you too. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good.
You have such a busy work life, and I'm really honored that you made time to come to the studio today.
It's a pleasure.
Yeah, I needed to get you out of work into a more into a more relaxed environment where you not be working, because I know you're very serious with your work. Yeah,
you know, but I have lives out of work too.
Oh, is it?
Things, yes.
Like what?
I'm a keen follower of Manchester United.
Oh, when your team be as a Man U?
Man U forever.
I see.
Yeah, I can tell you everything about Eric Ten Hag.
Then you've been
where we are and all that.
You've been a sad Man U supporter for a couple of years.
I'm not sad. I
really?
believe in the cycles of life.
Oh, it's part of it, huh?
Yes, cycles of life. You go up, you come down.
Do you see a light at the end of the tunnel now?
A great light. This year, next year, give us 2 years.
Is it because of your new coach or because of Ronaldo?
I didn't think even that may be even a strong factor in the equation.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay, well, as a Chelsea fan, I'm sitting here and I'm feeling very sad for you, but it's okay.
Well, we all have our own views.
We see how the next season pans for you.
Hopefully. It will be well.
It will be well. Anyway, I'm excited that you love football. I was actually asking whether you played football earlier, because you are what, 6'4"?
About 4.
You're a giant.
But that's the standard in my niece is even taller than I.
Your niece?
Yes, and my last born is almost my height, I'm sure. By the time it's about 25, you'll be taller than.
Oh dear.
Yeah,
so what did you use the height for in school?
In school, a bit of a goalkeeper biscuit, that was it. And,
oh, okay. Van der Sar.
I tried to run a bit, 200 meters for 1 or 2 years, and I gave up. Most of the time, I wasn't last, but I was close to the last. So I gave that up quickly.
Wow, I see. That, well, it's brilliant. It makes you feel good, doesn't it?
Yes.
I mean, it gives you some presence, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. Oh man, well, really good to see you. I'm really honored, and you've got a very colorful profile as well as the head of the civil service.
It's just by the grace of God.
God has been good.
God has been good.
Moonsro.
Yes.
Oh, now I'm gonna say Moonsro.
What is Moonsro?
Moonsro. Oh, unya presbini. Oh.
The Eden Revival Church.
Eden Revival Church. Okay. And I know you are one of the leaders there.
Yes.
Yeah. I see. we'll get to talk about all of that. But let's talk about your work now. What has been keeping you busy?
Well, this job of head of civil service is a very interesting one. You work with your fellow civil service staff, you work with the public, you work with politicians, and basically it's more of a juggling act than anything. At that point, the technical knowledge may not be too critical.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it may not be too critical because if you, by God's grace, you're able to assemble a good team, it makes the work relatively a bit easier. It's more of the interpersonal things, the emotional intelligence kind of thing. How do you balance issues? Basically, that's the key thing about the job.
I see. And this is actually the Civil Service Week, isn't it?
Yes, we're celebrating the Civil Service Week. We used to have it then. It was somehow jettisoned or abandoned. But about 5 years ago, we started, and it's been catching on. And great stuff seems to be coming out of it. We have a variety of activities that we do. Even yesterday, we had a cleanup, and the Honorable Safumaf was part of the people. And if you watch online on Facebook, you see him seriously engaged in weeding.
Wow.
The Honorable Ambrose Derry was there, using the, what do you call it, that's thing that they use to clear weeds out there. And it's been very interesting.
It's been good, eh?
It's a kind of an attempt to encourage the civil service staff to work hard. But also we open ourselves to get people to participate, to talk to us, and also receive feedback, and thereby consistently, my pet topic is performance management, so that we can improve performance to the people of Ghana, to the government of Ghana. That's the main reason why we exist.
Has it yielded results over the past couple of years?
I think so. I think we've moved on a lot. There are sides. You have the technical side of the work, which is do this. Then you have more of the, what I call the bit that has to do with attitudes. I think we're still struggling with the attitudes. The technical side, which invariably will depend on the training that people have, the kind of supervision that they have and all that. Those things we are really picking up. But the general issue of attitude is something that we're struggling. I'll be honest. We're struggling not because, but I think it's part of this general malaise, that kind of attitude towards things that so-called it's a bindia kind of thing. But we have put in a lot of, for my part, let me tell you a very interesting story about it. When I was appointed head of civil service, my first meeting with my chief directors, and chief directors are the bureaucratic heads of the organization. It was supposed to be a breakfast meeting at 8 o'clock. Everybody knows I'm very time conscious, generally. So 7:45, I was there. You know, the first person showed up at 8:45.
Wow.
Oh, that was then. That was a long time ago, about 8-9 years ago. and I went to town. I mean, really. Chief directors were people who were never sanctioned. You don't write queries. You don't do those things. I mean, they are top bureaucrats. I went to town and I queried everybody who did not show up and all that. And since then, that's been my chief directors. I think I'm fortunate now. I've found the best chief directors that anybody has ever had, and they work hard, they are on time, and things are generally well. But that's independent. You set the standards. For me, that's important. You set the standard, you set the guideline, you set the mark. Beyond this line, I won't accept. So for me, that's very important.
No, that's really good to know, because like you rightly said, it looks like there's a general malaise, with the civil service staff and all of that. It's a perception. For a long time, it's been a perception, but there are attempts to rewrite the script.
Serious attempts. And in the last, taking over from my predecessor, Mr. Kemevo, who started some good job, we've been continuing. I think the story has changed a lot.
But where did that stem from, actually?
What was
the general malaise and the attitude?
You cannot separate that from the general attitude in Ghana. Basically, towards, I don't want to go to colonial rule, but the point is towards Ubruni Adie, Abaya Adie, that concept that it's not mine, it belongs to government, and so you can manage it. And I remember during when Super Udian or Sofo does, there was a program in which somebody was in government office and they were complaining about this, and there was a song that say, petrol ni electricity nye problem, bugum, shiegum, me ya buy ni pa, petrol need electricity. It affects me.
Yeah.
I don't care. It's not mine.
Yeah.
It's about buying.
Yeah.
I mean, that was it was like a concept party business, but that showed, for me, that is where this whole thing started.
Yeah.
What a bit of the issue of the military kind of thing, because when you have military regimes come into the system, it also distorts the development of systems and processes.
Okay.
And that can also have a great impact on us. But I think in the last, building a democratic culture, building a resilient administrative structure system is not an easy thing. And I think that we have moved on. We will get there.
Well, that's good. With you at the helm, and of course, with the energy that you bring to the service, I'm sure things are going to get better. And celebrating this week as well, all the staff will be excited and energized to live very good principles and values.
That's why I'm happy for the opportunity to be here. Actually, when our colleague Zabeku called me, he wanted me to come last week. But I strategically said no. I think this week will be better because I fit into the civil service week, and I'm able to say a few things about my colleagues and the great things that we are doing. We are not there, but we are very hopeful.
Right, right. What makes you enjoy your role?
Oh, the fact that you can see that you are adding value. I mean, one of the things that people don't realize is, for instance, during political transitions, I mean, whether it's MPP to NDC or NDC to MPP, the civil service play a very important role. And as a head of civil service, you're a member of the transitional team, and going out, facilitating, ensuring that things work out, and all that, and where there are difficulties in it. For me, the bottom line is service, adding value, service, adding value. And I like also a bit of teaching. I use every situation to teach, to impact people one way or the other. It may be hard, it may be soft, but everything, that's what I do.
What don't you enjoy about it?
My work.
Yeah.
I'm a person, I live by the principle that everything that comes your way helps you to grow. So in real terms of not enjoying, I don't think. And I have a wonderful team around me. My secretariat is great. Irene, now my chief director, Mr. Brock, wonderful people. The last 3 years in particular have been good. Have been very good, because I have this wonderful Chief Director Engineer Brock. Oh, it makes life so easy. So I'm enjoying my work.
You're enjoying it,
huh?
Yeah. That's really good. Well, and you've been in the service over 32 years. Over
1988.
1988.
1st April.
Holy.
1988.
Wow. That's 34 years.
Yeah. Hopefully I'll be going home soon.
Yeah, you don't sound like you're looking forward to it.
Oh, no. I don't have a problem, actually.
Really?
I don't have a problem going home. No. Look, I have grandchildren. and one of the key things I enjoy now in my life really is playing with my grandchildren.
Is it? How many do you have?
Currently, I have 4.
Wow.
5.
Hey, 5?
Yeah.
Hey, Nana Kwasi
Small.
Wow. Will you say you are fulfilled now?
Yes, where I am in my life, I think it's good. But the point about fulfillment is that if you're not careful, then you become stagnant. I'm somebody who progressively will want to move everything. If you ask my colleagues in the office, one of the things they tell you every day, there's an improvement program. Every day is an improvement agenda. I think one of my colleagues, Mercy, he says expansion project. As for Nana, every day is an expansion program. Every day we want to. So fulfilled in terms of what we're doing and where we are going, but not totally, because we are not where we are supposed to be. I'm looking forward to a civil service and hopefully a public service that can become a bit more proactive. We are there, but can become a bit more proactive, can be a bit more assertive, and the capacity to talk truth to power. It's coming up, but I think we can improve there. So these are a couple of areas that we can work on.
You know, I kind of like you because you sound like a great team player. Not just sound, because I asked a question, a personal question, but you kept using we, and you saw the team in the question. And that's perfectly answered. No qualms with that.
No.
But personally, Are you fulfilled?
Oh yes, I am. I think I've told you that. I am selling chapel. What else can a man do? You entered as an assistant management analyst. I walked through to become the head of that organization, by the way, management services. I left the organization. I became head of civil service, which is the height of every civil service staff professional thing. And I've been fully engaged. I've worked under directly under 3 presidents, indirectly under 2 others. Met all sorts of people, impacted both. I call development partners. When I'm good, the relationship is good, and we're getting what I say, development partners. When it's not too good, I say destruction partners, depending on the circumstances. So,
yeah.
I was one of the key people that set up the local government service, which I think currently is the biggest service that we have, and all that. And a couple of other reform programs. I've been reformed since 1990. But any of the big reforms in Ghana you mentioned, I've been part of. So yes, in a sense, as an individual, I am fulfilled, and I think we continue to impact, we continue to share, and all that. So.
Is this the life you envisioned for yourself as a young man?
No.
No? How so?
No. I wanted to be a lawyer.
Ah.
Yeah.
And what happened?
After university, I went to tech. Maybe you want me to go back a bit.
Yes, I want to. Let's start. Yeah. Let's start from where you were born. Let's actually start from where you're from.
Oh, I come from Manchester. You don't know Manchester?
Where's
You've not heard of that?
No.
You see, that's the thing. Come from Manchester. Manchester is the English name for Begro.
Oh, I see.
Begro is in Eastern region, you know.
Yes, it's not far from my hometown as well. I'm from Osino, Abompe.
Osino, oh, okay, yes.
And that's not far from Begro.
Yeah.
So I know Manchester.
Yeah, no Manchester. So Manchester.
I see. So you are pure Achim man.
Achim man. My mother, 100%. My father, everybody from Achim.
Oh wow, that's just like me actually. 100%.
But I was born in Accra, 1961, 4th June.
Okay.
Kolebu. We live at Zongo Junction for some time. Then we moved to Kotobabi. Then in 1968, so that's where I started school.
Who were your parents? What did they do?
My mother was a trader. My father was a draftsman.
Okay.
Down to earth people. So.
Were they well-to-do?
No. I mean, draftsman. I was working at PWD in those days. My mother was a trader.
How many siblings did you have?
Wow. We are 6. 6. My big sister, then our last born. The story about that is when my father died he was 39 when he died. I was 10 years. Our last born was 3 months when my father died. So you can see the hustle. Just a petty trader. We got moved out of the house where we were. One time we were sleeping on the bed, another time we were sleeping on the ground. Our mom was here, the 6 of us there. And that's the kind of thing we went through for some time.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. So that was good. It was interesting. But I love my father, though. Tough. I love my father, though. 10 years you didn't, but I like the bit about he was a kind of person who really liked me. And we had one experience that has really shaped my life. When we went to Koforia in 1968, we were walking on a bridge. It was raining heavily. So it was not on the gutter. And I nearly fell into the gutter. So he pulled me and we fell sideways. So he decided we are no longer going to walk on the shoulders of the gutter again. So we walk in the midst of the dirt and all that raining until we go home. And that thing has helped me guide them the way I manage my children. I'm very protective of my children. I love them. Of course, I will sanction them when it's necessary. I don't beat them, but I'll have other means of making life that you comply appropriately.
Like what?
Withdrawing things, looking at you in a certain manner, occasionally putting you under a bed, and stuff like that. So basically, that's the kind of thing that.
Okay. All right, keep going.
Yeah. Coming, so 68, we left for Kofodia. But in between, we joined the Eden Revival Church. My mother was a founding member. Later, my father joined. So we lived at Kotobiba. I went to church at Kokomre meetings. Reverend Yabakore was founder leader. So we went to Kofodia. And indeed, my parents and another family founded the Eden Revival Church at Kofodia. Okay. So that's where we went to 71 when my dad died. We remained there. It was tough for some time. Then the Reverend Bakore came, picked me up, and brought me to Accra.
At what age?
11 years.
11 years.
Yes,
okay.
That's a year after that, brought me to Accra.
Was it because life was a little bit too tough for your mom?
Tough for my mom, yes. Yeah. Indeed, we got split. Two of my brothers went to live with one of my uncles. The others went to live with my grandfather.
Yeah.
The late Reverend said, Presbyterian minister. And then, so it was the way it got split.
Yeah.
And so I remained in Accra here for some time. I went to secondary school, Form 2. You know, we used to have Eden Mission High School. So I attended Mission High School. I attended a preparatory school, and I went to the high school. But I left Eden Form 2 for a very interesting reason. I had a few challenges, but one of the things, we had a boarding house at the school. I don't know, a lot of people know. That boarding house had only girls in the boarding house. And I was the only boy in the boarding house.
You were in the boarding house? With the girls?
Girls. There were 40 girls. And the reason was simple. I was living here and the school was at Dakuma Junction. So I was told that, look, you cannot be going up and down. So they looked for a room there for me. And it's, you either wake up latest by 3, have a bath in the morning, or you have to wait till 9, 10 before you bath. And that was one of the reasons I did not like bathing very much as I was cleaning.
Did you notice past tense, right?
Sorry, yeah.
So it remains past tense.
I try.
Now you try.
I try.
Okay.
So it was a very difficult. Psychologically, it was becoming a problem. Because, I mean, you go to dining and you have to go and take your food and out there, and virtually you close your door. After classes, you have to close your door and be alone till the following morning. It wasn't kind of thing. So,
hold on. So you didn't share a room with the girls?
No.
Okay.
I had a separate room at the corner of the place. The girls were the side. Indeed, there was a wall around them.
Okay.
So that was it. But I'm saying the psychological things that there was a watchman that said that you're not supposed to come out after classes. Even you cannot join for evening prep. So it was really a tough time, and eventually I decided, spoke to my mom. The good thing was my results was relatively good. So they took it to CMB and had a scholarship. And that's how I went to Ghana Secondary School. So
did the fact that you had to, you know, cohabit sort of with the girls have any effect on you?
It was a psychological kind of thing where people started laughing at me. The guys that, have you seen this before? One person, one man boarding house, and everybody's a girl. So that basically was the thing. It was a bit traumatic. I think the issue of not being able to bath early. You bath very early, you bath late. You cannot really go and study with anybody.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. And so.
But did you learn anything from the girls as well? Did their lifestyle or the fact that the other gender lived there teach you anything?
Maybe upon reflection, become a bit more sensitive to the needs of, because you saw a bit of time, more of time during their cramp periods, it was a lot of hustle and stuff like that. But basically, I don't think it really influenced me. Then, maybe later, but then.
Okay.
It was just a 1.5 year experience. And
yeah.
So I called my mom and went on one vacation and decided I wasn't coming back. And basically, that was a tough one because she was not prepared for that. And my other brother had also come back. So at that time she was selling rice. She was telling that we said we'll join you, we'll join her to do that, and that's how we joined her to do that business.
You did?
Yes, we did.
So you sold the rice?
Oh, we sold the rice, sardine, tinapa. You go, and when you come on vacation, that's what we did. And later, she was able to open a small store. She was selling fish in, and so we'll sit by the fish. Indeed, that was where I used to sleep, in that shop, small shop with a deep freezer, the very hot thing. But hey, that was okay. That was my self-contained alone.
What was that thing you learned from your mom? The most important lesson you learned from her?
Hard work, resilience, the fear of God. In spite of all this, you always go to church. All of us will go to church. So that was it. And in spite of that, she was also very nice about giving. I mean, the small thing, you get people. We had all sorts of people coming to the house, and we'll take care of them and that kind of thing. So I still do that a lot.
Yeah.
Indeed, if you ask me children, I don't know the number of children I have. Many children.
I understand.
Yeah.
I understand. And all this while, you were nursing the dreams of being a lawyer.
Yes. So, yes, I went through Ghana's O-level. But in between O-level and sixth form, I went to Sunyani to do some well-to-well-answer, because that was also another time you needed some money to buy things for sixth form. So I spent 4 years, 4 months at Sunyani, working with a construction firm, doing this, carrying sand and all that, for 4 months before, when I was told that the results had come and I had passed. And I came down from Sunyani and went to sixth form at Ghana, went through.
So you worked as a laborer?
Yeah, worked laborer, yes, well-to-well-answer. That's why I didn't want to use laborer for you to brothelize it. It's really well-to-well-answer. Hard stuff, kind of.
Okay. Interesting.
So I finished. Yeah. I finished UST. I read law, sociology, but somehow money, business, and so I got.
Oh, you actually read law?
Yeah, I read law, sociology for first combined first degree. But I look at the things to go to law school, money to or not to. So I started looking for a job. And if I tell you how I got the job, it's weren't. I taught a bit. I came back to teach at the Eden school from that period, from September up to December, January. Then I decided that, look, I had to do something else. And I was looking for a job, wrote applications left, right. Then I got to know that there was civil service. So I went there. I was directed. I went there. I met this lady. God bless her. So, Miss Sakina Bonsu. And I went there. I said, Madam, I'm looking for a job. She said, have you filled up? I said, this is my application. I said, there are 2 areas. There's the admin class, which is the elite in those days, or the civil service. But there's also management service. This was end of February. So he said, look, the management service, that one, they are taking people, and by April you will start. But with the admin class, you have to write graduate entrance exams and this and this and that. So, Madam Sakina, I'm not here to do anything. Yes, I want a job. I didn't know what management services was. I had never heard it. I said, I like management services. So he said, all right, so go find out about it. At that time, my office was at the State House, where the Parliament is now, 15th floor. So I went, climb up, and I saw some great guys, Mr. Corda, Dan Sam and Co. And it gave me an idea what management service was all about. So I came down, and in 2 weeks' time, they called me for an interview. I went for the interview. That's where I met one of my great friends, Mrs. Eugenia Adomako Jesse. I worked with her. We were interviewed the same time. She eventually also became head of the organization. So that's how I got to the civil service. It's more of, I think, by grace of God. Because I didn't know. I passed the interview and started working there. Straight we got thrust into reform, because it was part of the ERP, Economic Recovery Program, and one of the key things at that time was reducing the civil service. But in between, it's all hard work. Let me make this point very clearly. I worked very hard in the management services, got an opportunity, went to UK for training and all that. But if you're talking of people who had influenced you, and I'm sorry I have to chip in at this time.
No,
it's okay.
It's okay.
At the UK in 1989, there was this guy, I think it was about 75 or 80. Tom Wilson was our course director. His son was there, a millionaire. And there were people from all over. We had people from Qatar, from Saudi Arabia, from Jamaica, Barbados, Nigeria, Zambia, stuff like that. 40, so we were on a 6-month program. The 5th month, I did not drink and did not do anything. So when we go out there, people will be drinking. We usually go on week out retreats to various places. They come and say, Nana, come. So I said, Uncle Tom, he said, look, I've looked at you for the past 4 or 5 months. If you continue like this, you will rise to the top of your career in a very short time. Just stick to it. There were 45 of us who went on this program. I was the only one selected to do attachment at Leeds County Council. That is where I got interested in decentralization. And I made some proposals and they even print. I came back to management and we started working. So we move on. So Tom Wilson was one of the guys.
What did Tom see in you?
I don't know.
You never sought to find out?
No, that time I was even so happy for him to say that. You just right. So I just came with the idea that if that's what Tom Wilson is saying, and there's an old man who's just doing it because he's happy to help people from different. Come back.
But now, with the benefit of hindsight, what do you think made him say that?
I think I was very serious with the work, the course program. I did all my assignments dead on time, delivered before time, and I took everything seriously. But you see, the mere reason for doing that, let me tell you, was not because I liked the course. That was not the reason at all. You see, Ganama, you've gone. You come from a poor background. So what happens? I needed to deliver everything quickly because I got some work. So I started the work at 4 a.m. I did 8. I close. I come to course at 9 and close at 4, and I start work at 6. So you see, my time and close at 10. At times you'll be sitting in the train, then the train will take you to somewhere you sleep in, receiving divine revelations, and then you come back and that kind of thing. So that's what we're doing, and so it's not because I wanted, but since I did not have time, everything I had to take everything serious. I'll listen religiously, finish my assignments, get it in, use my weekends. So he thought I was a smart guy, but really it was more of the economic recovery interventions that I was engaging on the side. So basically, that's the thing.
I see economic recovery intervention.
That's what happened. I came back,
goodness.
And then so I continued to work hard at management. There's another lady. She later became the chairman of the Public Service Commission, Mrs. Bridges Kotriku. She had then come to management service on a short where she was there. She was one of my first bosses. Really led, directed, and supported me. But she was a strong lady.
Right.
Strong lady.
Right.
So that's one of the guys there. Then the third one, which is Remember, and I'll show how that links to becoming head of sales down the road. Then we started this program of trying to introduce the Ghana Universal Salary Structure. Okay. And we're supposed to do job evaluations. So we're called and we're trained. Now, Dr. Robert Dodu was then the head of the institution that was called Price and Incomes Board. Now it's metamorphosed into fair wages and salaries thing. And so we're supposed to go through the training and do this assignment and be given also some money. So we're excited. There were, I think, 12 of us who went on this program. We went through the program, we trained, we did assignments. Come pay time, that's after 2-3 months, and Dr. Dodu says, I'm not paying anybody. You guys, you came in for free. You've been given skills in job evaluation that you did not have. You were fed at that time. You will still want money you don't. So next time we're called, and I'll tell you, there were 12 of us. Only 2 of us went. The other 10 did not show up. But I went, and the late Kofi Kranting, my colleague, also went. And he trained us further. We did some work. Now you ask me what's important. This was about 91, 92. Fast forward 94, Dr. Dodu becomes head of service. He wants head of reforms. And who he looks for who? Kofi Kranti was my senior, so Kofi Kranti became head of civil service reforms. After 1 year, he got some job with some World Bank people on a project, so he moves. You think who would be the person he calls? He calls me.
Wow.
I was then just a management analyst to come and be a head of reform coordinating. That's a post for a director grade. That in terms of ranking, civil service ranking, that's 4 steps upstairs.
Wow.
Yeah. 4 steps upstairs. Because I was prepared to sacrifice. You know, that's what happened. That's some of the thing I'm telling people. The young men of today are too money conscious. Everything is money, money, money. As I sit down, I realize, look, by virtue of not following the money, by virtue of working with Dr. Dudu, when such an important vacancy came, he called me, I became head of, and that's why I learned the job. Training, how to meet with chief writers, how to do this, how to do that, how to do that. And that was one of the key things. Let me just move on many years later, 10, 15 years later, they are looking for a head of civil service. Check who was the chair of the council at that time. Dr. Robert Dudu is the chairman of the Civil Service Council, which is a governing board. Yeah. They are looking for a head of civil service. I'm a head of department. You think who's the person you will nominate or call or recommend? I was sitting my somewhere to quote somebody's language, and I got appointed to act as head of civil service. I'm using this as examples. It's not always that you chase money first. Yeah. Work hard, develop your skills, develop your competencies, and then things will come naturally. Yeah. By the way, in between, I had a job at Obuasi Goldfields. At that time, they were going to pay me 5 years, 5 times what I was earning at the civil service. If it were to be today, like the young men of today, we go to church and say, Agbami, my prayer has come. There's a breakthrough. The Spirit of God has worked and all that. I'm talking of discernment. Yeah. So Korea comes and says, you can't go to that job. That's not the way. And I've never forgotten. Say, that's not the way God is going to bless you. And bless this country and bless your family. I asked, Papa, what are you saying? This is a breakthrough, my friend. We're 3 months into going to get our rent advance. The money was nowhere to come. These were going to pay me 5 times. They're going to give me rent advance. My vehicle was very rickety. A back of my car had written no problem. But it's one day on the road, 2 days in the workshop. So I had written no problem. That was to give myself a bit of hope and that kind of thing. So everybody have thought that there's a major breakthrough. That guy said, no, that's not the way God is going to. So don't go to Obuasi.
But what did he see?
He's a prophet, man of God. Great man of God. So unfortunately, we've not recognized him a lot as Ghanaians. He was one of those guys who drew the national charter. He was, indeed, I'm told that he was one of the key authors of that. And so, but it's not about Korea. So I did not go. I did not go to Obuasi. So you can just imagine, my brother, 5 times your salary. Then you say you won't go.
Was it just the advice you heeded to, or you also had some form of discernment?
I'll be very honest with you. It was more of your Korea's thing. And there's a small history to that. Simple. When my father was going to Kofodia, the same Yabo Korea told him, don't go to Kofodia. That's not a good place for you. But my father had lost his job, and for 2 years he did not get. So he just had a job, this job for 1 year, and he's posted to Kofodia. Charlie, man must survive, must have take care of your wife and children. Then this also comes, young man comes and say that don't go to Kofodia, it's not good for you. So my father went to Kofodia 68, 69. By 71, he was dead. So actually, when I went home, that also struck me. I said, it was the same guy who told my father not to go to Kofodia, and the guy died 2 years down the road. What will happen to me and to my wife and to my boy at that time? So that was also part of the thing about not going.
I see.
Yeah. But I think it was God's own way of letting me. I don't know what would have happened.
I'm just a little curious. Yeah. Did your father die mysteriously?
So very interesting. I think so, because he was here just simple malaria, young small malaria. And he had been in hospital for 5 days, 4 or 5 days. And we went there in the morning, and the doctor said, "Oh, you go home this afternoon." So I took the thing. I took everything from there. Went and he told me, when your mom is coming in the afternoon, bring this kind of trousers, so I'll come. My mom got to the hospital at 3 o'clock, and they said a guy died 30 minutes ago. Wow. Somebody who was supposed to be discharged that same day just died that same day. Young man, 10 years. I don't know the details of it. But for me, that was strange. Because we'd had conversation in the morning, very happy, daddy is coming home. And then he came home, but he came home in a box. So that's it. So that's also part of it.
That's part of it. If you're just tuning in, this is Personality Profile on Joy 99.7 FM. I'm Lexis Bill, and this evening I'm spending time with the head of the Civil Service of Ghana, Nana Kwasi Agyekum-Dwamena, who's got a very interesting story. In fact, I love it. And you can send us a WhatsApp message. I'll be reading some of your messages. I see a few of our friends. Joseph from Tema says, good evening to you, Lexis, and your guest, Nana Kwasi Agyekum-Dwamena. All right, thank you so much for your message. And then this one says, Lexis, I know this great man you're interviewing very well from 1998 when I joined the civil service. He used to be the head of Reform Coordinating Unit and has been instrumental in the National Institutional Renewal Program. He's admirably changing the name civil servants to civil service staff. I like him. Frederick Frimpong Berfi, the Deputy Director, Bureau of Languages.
Thank you.
Yeah. If you're watching us on Facebook as well, you can actually also send us a message on our Facebook page. Dagadu from Rome is trolling me. He's listening from Italy. He says, Chelsea Cry, when did you guys come into the lamp?
Dagadu, you're a man after my own heart.
No problem. We've heard you. We've heard you. Anyway, so what does it take to lead the civil service in Ghana?
You know, since it's an interface between the politics and the administration, you think that technical skill is important, but tenacity is important, balance is important. Having good relationship, because look, I have ministers come to my office, I have parliamentarians come to my office, you have chiefs come to your office, you have pastors come to your office, you have the civil service staff also coming to your office. So you need a bit of balance. You need to. I run a very open office. Everybody is welcome, unless I'm not there. Everybody's. So for me, and because I've seen 4 or 5 chief heads of services and I work with them directly, I think I pick up a few things. You also must be tough. That is true. You cannot be wishy-washy.
Yeah.
And you must stand for something.
Yeah.
You must stand for something.
What are those values you personally stand for?
I stand for hard work. For me, that's very important. I stand for always, I'm not going to use a normal accountability, transparency things that people do. That's a standard thing. I stand for hard work. I also I stand for the fact that we must respect people. We must respect people. But also, I must honestly say that I don't suffer fools kindly. And I hate mediocrity. I hate mediocrity. I hate lies. I'm prepared to accept mistakes, and they know me. I'm happy for people to make mistakes, but I hate lies or trying to cover it up. So that's what motivates me in terms of the way I do my things.
You've heard many things about the civil service, but how do you feel when people say that the civil service is unproductive?
Either you don't know what the civil service is about, or you are being mischievous. What do you mean by productivity? Basically, what we are talking about is if there's any improvement, every government says they are performed. Is that not what we Lexis? Now what? Who is at the center? It's a civil service. Who writes a cabinet memo? Who helped them prepare the budget? Who leads the implementation of programs? Who leads the monitoring of this program? Who sends feedback? It's a civil service. We are the center. Who actually, what do you call it? Midwife's government. It's a civil service. When a minister goes to a ministry of affairs, what does he do? He may be good in terms of his craft as a lawyer or as an economist or whatever it is. But to understand the maze, it's a civil service that's been helping. So the issue of productivity, productivity is a factor of many things. You're talking of available resources. You're talking of kinds of training. And let me see, you wouldn't believe it. until the last 4 years, and that one I'll say, I told you we're not going to do politics on this thing, but for the last 4 years, we've had more resources than in the last 10 years.
Wow.
For training of civil service staff. For training of civil service staff. And we have trained more than around 15, 20,000 in the last 3, 4 years. We've had a lot of resources. And so all these are factors in terms of people being productive or not. But of course, you are talking of leadership. You see, the system because we work directly with politicians. Politicians' life is 4 years. So you have this challenge between short-term ends so that you are ready for the next election and people standing and looking at long-term. Again, I'm there. When some reforms are introduced, I tell you, no, this thing doesn't work for me. It will not work because of this and this and this. People just use it to make money. So let's not adopt that approach. Last year, we introduced a new system for assessment. I'm just giving a small example.
Yeah.
Because I have been there before, that if we had given that assignment out to consultant, we're going to pay $500,000 for that assignment. I have the skills already. So what do? I tell my team in the office, we'll not do that. Come, we'll do training. And within 1 week, we did the training for them. They understood, they were happy, and they multiplied. They became like disciples. Wow. And that saved us as a country $500,000. If we go the old way of doing reform, what happens? We get a consultant in, they do the thing. More often than not, they don't even understand the things properly. And then what happens? We have to come back and redo. So there are many things that we can do. For me, the issue of productivity, I can clearly agree with you that there are areas, because of my background as a management analyst, there are areas that we can cut further in terms of not necessarily sacking people, but redeploy, moving people around the system. Okay. There are areas. And it's partly, the problem we have is the nature of our law. Not the civil service law, I'm talking the public service law. The Constitution lists many services. And so, for instance, when you're in the civil service, yeah, you can go on secondment to another, but people guard their territories. And because of that, you may go to a particular, not even a ministry. Maybe somebody's in ministry A. They used to have 10 vehicles. They don't have the 10 vehicles and they have 5. We've created new organizations. Can we shift the people to those organizations? But because of our law and the configuration, it doesn't work out that way. So these are some that, just a couple of days, I'll have a conversation with the chairman of the Public Service Commission, another great lady, and said, let's begin to look at this configuration and see how we can use some of these public service resources in a better way, targeted across, so that we can get more benefits to our nation. So yes, there are so many things we can do as a country. And the good things, we are working together a lot more. I work with the head of local governments service, the chairman of Public Service Commission, Director General GS, and all of them, sharing ideas day in, day out. I'm somebody who pushes a bit, so that we can get some of these things going.
We're celebrating the Civil Service Week. Your civil service staff are listening to you. If you had any word for them, what will it be?
It will be what I tell them every day, that this country is the only country we have. Number 2, nobody will come and build our country for us. We are the only people who build our country. Number 3, we are at the center of government. So I encourage them to work hard. I encourage them to remain open and transparent. I encourage them to take feedback. I also encourage them to also love their God, whatever God they are serving. Because I believe that divinity plays an important role in the life of a person. And I also want to say they should also enjoy the Civil Service Week. Participate actively. Let's just come. Next week, they say they are going to do food competition or something.
What will look?
And I'm supposed to cook.
Oh!
You asked me.
I can help you.
They said, what can I cook? And I said, first, I want more. That was what I was going to do. Then people said, no, that was not good. I said, then I'll do this way.
This way?
So come join us. We have a couple of tomorrow, God willing.
I'm coming along.
We're going to greet the chief imam for his. This guy has been selfless and his dedication to this country.
I totally agree with you.
We'll be doing that. We will also be honoring some people tomorrow's week and stuff like that. So
No, I'd love to be a part of it. I want to be, absolutely. So
I believe there is hope.
Yeah.
My last thing really on this, when I got to the office of head of service, you know what we're called?
What?
We're called you see, OACS. It's Office of Hardship, Complaints and Sorrows. You can ask them that.
Are you serious? OACS.
OACS. It's an Office of Head of Civil Service. It was the Office of Hardship, Complaints and Sorrows. Now the people don't see that again.
We thank God.
Really a powerhouse.
We thank God. And it's all thanks to your hard work. I need to say kudos to you, and God bless you so much. You've done immensely well, and I'm glad we get to celebrate you on Personality Profile today. Comfort in Ada says, great man, God bless you. Oh, that's really beautiful. Lexis, I know Nana well. Oh, okay, let me read this one from Odro Rada. Yes. Odro says he knows me as Papa T. Yeah. Most of us call him Daddy, and I tell you, he's a very good person. All right, Odro, thank you so much. Lexis, I know Nana well. When I used to work at a ministry's fire station, he's really worth his person. If Nana may help me, does he look at politicians and disagree with them if a policy may not help the nation? I wish him well. Let me get the name of the person, please. Take your time. That's from Kofi Nyankomago Agyekum. Okay, Kofi, thank you so much for your message. Look, lots of messages. I wish I could read all of them. Edmund Awaite says, I'm really enjoying your discussion. His integrity, humanity, and commitment to work is highly recommended. He should keep up the good work. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yamin Shah.
So,
God bless you. We've enjoyed spending time with you. And next week I'm with you at the cooking competition.
Come.
I'm coming through.
Maybe you have some tidbits.
Oh, don't worry.
Yes. What do you know? Do you know anything?
Let's go back to the angwamu. Because
That's
I have all the ingredients.
Great.
If I get my okro, if I get my red oil.
Oh, angwamu. Oh, my friend, yes. Yeah. The guy needs deliverance.
My touch to the house. Well, I thought I was coming to help, but looks like I'm worse. Really. Thank you so much for spending time with us. My name is Lexis Bill. On behalf of my team, I'm grateful. And the video is live on Facebook. You can go check it out. Uncle Ken will be on your radio very shortly. Have a good evening.